All right, let's dive right in. And I mean that literally. We're heading to the deepest, most mysterious place on the entire planet to solve a puzzle. A sound that had scientists totally stumped for years. This is a real-life, deep-sea detective story.
So, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a scientist for a second. You're listening to these recordings from miles below the surface of the ocean, and all of a sudden, you hear this. Something you have never heard before. It's this bizarre, complex call that sounds, well, it sounds alive, but also kind of like a machine. And that was the big question, the central mystery. What in the world is making that sound?
And get this wasn't just happening in some random patch of ocean. Nope. These recordings came from the Mariana Trench. You know, only the deepest, most extreme trench on the entire planet. We're talking about a place with pressure that could crush a submarine, total darkness, and life forms that look like they're straight out of the sci-fi movie. So yeah, the location alone just cranked the mystery up to 11.
This sound was so weird, so unique, they had to give it a name, and it's a great one, the Western Pacific Biotwang. I love that. And just like real detectives finding a crucial piece of evidence, the scientists started breaking it down, analyzing every single detail to figure out what they were dealing with. So check out the acoustic signature here. This is basically a picture of this sound, and it shows you just how bizarre this thing is. The whole call, only about 3.5 seconds long. It kicks off with this super deep, bassy groan, and then it just shoots all the way up to this crazy, high-pitched metallic squeal. Researchers literally said it sounded like part whale, part starship engine. I mean, you can see why they were scratching their heads, right? And that sweep from low to high? That's a huge piece of the puzzle. A frequency sweep is really just a fancy way of saying the sound's pitch changes super fast. The best way to think about it is like a slide whistle, you know? That whoop sound. It's the same idea. Except in this case, the range from the lowest note to the highest was just massive. Okay, this chart really lays out the problem they were facing. They started comparing it to known sounds. A submarine ping? Nah, too short, just one single tone. What about a blue whale? Nope, way too long, and it's just this low, steady groan. The biotwang, with that wild frequency sweep and its weird metallic but also alive character, it just didn't fit anywhere. It was a total outlier.
So, what do you do when nothing matches? You go into full-on detective mode. The team started a classic process of elimination, just trying to figure out what it couldn't be. Let's walk through how they narrowed it down.
First suspect, humans. Could it be man-made? That metallic sound definitely made them think of ships or subs. But here's the thing, no technology we know of makes a sound with a sweep that complex. So man-made sources were out. Okay, what about the Earth itself? Maybe an underwater volcano or some kind of seismic event? The big problem with that theory was the pattern. The sound repeated pretty regularly. Earthquakes and volcanoes? They're random. They don't follow a schedule. So geological was out too. Okay, so think about it. If it's not made by us, and it's not made by the planet, what else is there? I mean, what's left? All the evidence was starting to point in one direction, a direction that was honestly pretty surprising.
It had to be an animal, a living thing. The structure, the complexity, it just screamed biological. But here was the giant catch. It was a sound that had never, ever been recorded from any known animal in the sea. It was like they were hearing the call of a ghost.
So the team kept digging. They started comparing the biotwang to this huge library of other weird, unidentified sounds from all over the world. And finally, they got a hit. They found a match. And trust me, the identity of our culprit is something nobody expected.
So, after all that work, who was making the noise? What was the culprit? It was a dwarf minke whale. Yeah, a baleen whale, and actually one of the smallest ones. To say this was a shocking discovery would be an understatement.
So why was everyone so blown away by this? Well, for a few reasons. First off, the sound itself. That metallic twang is just, it's nothing like the deep moans you expect from a baleen whale. It sounds almost man-made. Second, nobody thought dwarf minke whales hung out in the Mariana Trench. It was completely off their known map. And third, this was a brand new call, a type of vocalization that had never been linked to this species before. It basically rewrote a chapter on how they talk.
All right, so mystery solved, case closed, right? Well, not exactly, because figuring out who made the sound is only half the story. The other half is figuring out why this discovery is so important. It's really about learning how to eavesdrop on the ocean's deepest secrets.
And here's the key takeaway. By finally putting a name, or a whale, to the biotwang, scientists basically got a brand new tool in their toolkit. It's like they found a secret tracking beacon on an animal that's been almost impossible to study. Suddenly, they can follow it.
And with this tool, now that they know what to listen for, they can do some amazing things. They can track these whales as they migrate across the enormous Pacific Ocean. They can listen in to see if the calls change, which can tell them about the health of the population. And it adds another layer to our understanding of the whole acoustic world of the deep sea.
One of the scientists on the project put it perfectly. They said, this isn't just about some weird noise. This discovery literally expands the map for a whale we know so little about. It's a massive step forward in our understanding.
And really, that's why this should matter to you, to me, to everyone. The ocean is the biggest habitat on our planet, and let's be honest, we know almost nothing about most of it. So every time we can identify a new sound, it's like finding another piece of this giant planetary puzzle. It helps us understand and hopefully protect the health of this incredibly important place.
So the bio-twang mystery is solved, and solving it has opened up this whole new world of research. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? With so much of the deep ocean still totally unexplored, what other unbelievable secrets are still down there, just waiting for us to listen?